New bombshell, 5-month gap in Hillary emails. Welcome to the Shikama Live Show with your host, Shikama. There are gaps totaling 5 months in the Hillary Clinton emails released by the State Department. The watchdog group Judicial Watch announced Monday morning. The revelation emerged after a court ordered the release of State Department documents as part of Judicial Watch's effort to obtain Clinton emails under the Freedom of Information Act. Emails sent and received by Clinton on her private servers are missing over periods totaling 5 months, beginning when she took office as Secretary of State in 2009. Judicial Watch President Tom Fitton said the gaps indicate Clinton lied under oath when she said all her emails had been turned over, and it suggested government officials had not turned over everything they were required to deliver. Fenton said other State Department officials, including the one in charge of email production, Patrick Kennedy, previously had been informed of the 5-month gap. The gap in emails received by Clinton run from January 21st, 2009, when she became Secretary of State, to March 17, 2009. The gaps in emails sent by Clinton from January 21, 2009 to April 12, 2009, and from December 30, 2012 to February 1st, 2013. Judicial Watch said the revelation of the email gaps cast doubt on whether Clinton told the truth when she declared under oath last month, quote, "I have directed that all my emails on clintonmail.com in my custody that were potentially federal records be provided to the Department of State," end quote. Judicial Watch obtained that statement made in response to a court order in separate FOIA litigation. Let me pause right here. Emails that would be sent to you when you first take office, by definition, would be of national security level because they are telling you, bringing you up to date as to what you should know coming into office. That's your training phase. And for government agents or government officials, that training phase includes all of the secret, top secret, for your eyes only sort of things. So by definition, this woman has committed treason. The announcement of the email gaps was made at an event in which many of the best minds in Washington came together to discuss what to do about the many crises plaguing the country during the Obama era. Isn't that a punch in the kidney? Judicial Watch is holding a day-long leadership summit on Washington corruption and the transparency crisis. Judicial Watch has been in the forefront of the legal battle to obtain Clinton's emails and State Department documents concerning the former Secretary of State use of a private server to conduct all of her official business. Contrary to her denials, government inspectors revealed Clinton did have classified information on her private server, which security experts say was especially vulnerable to hacking by foreign intelligence agencies. They don't even have to say it. It was already done. I don't know if I've already uploaded it, but most of this came about through hackers revealing that they had hacked the servers and had them and were auctioning them off. The FBI is investigating Clinton's use of the server and trying to retrieve 30,000 emails she deleted after her own staff deemed them personal correspondence. The State Department said it had received approximately 60 to 70,000 pages of pages, correspondence between paper and stored in 12 bankers' boxes, which are the only comprehensive set of Secretary Clinton's email correspondence. But the department was concerned there were other Clinton emails that would not be found. Quote, however, of the same examined, many of the emails were from Secretary Clinton's personal email account to official department email accounts of her staff. Emails originating from Secretary Clinton's personal email account would only be captured by department systems when they came to an official department email account, i.e., they would be captured only in the email accounts of those recipients. Secretary Clinton's staff no longer work at the department, and the status of the email accounts of Secretary Clinton's staff and other department recipients is unknown at this time. Fenton said one State Department official indicated she did not want a written record of the inquiry into Clinton's emails, noting an email in which she said she preferred to discuss matters on the phone. Fenton also said that among the newly obtained documents is an internal appraisal by the State Department that determined none of Clinton's emails should have been excluded for examination as to whether they were personal or governmental business. The document titled Secretary of State Hillary Clinton's Email Appraisal Report, dated February 9th, 2015, concluded, quote, as the person holding the highest level job in the department, any email messages maintained by or for the immediate use of the Secretary of State is appropriate for preservation. This record series cannot be considered personal papers based on the definition of a record in 44 USC 3301 or department policy found in 5 FAM 443. That means, by definition, any and all correspondence is held as an archive of the Secretary of State at that time. She can't claim it's personal. She's Secretary of State. She's no longer personal. All of Clinton's emails should have been turned over to the government for review, Fenton said. That determination by the State Department is significant because Clinton said she deleted more than 30,000 emails that her own staff had determined were personal. Fenton emphasized that none of the Clinton emails were made public voluntarily, but were disclosed as a result of litigation. He compared the 5-month Clinton email gap to the infamous 18-minute gap in the audio tapes turned over to Watergate investigators by President Nixon. The email gap was revealed in documents obtained under court order in the FYA lawsuit against the Department of State, originally filed by Judicial Watch in May 6, 2013. Let me stick a thumbtack in that. At the time surrounding this time, they were discussing getting rid of the Freedom of Information Act. This is all Obama. Literally, they want to run roughshod over the entire country, not be beholden to the Constitution, and not suffer any possible punishment for doing so, and having corruption run so rampant that it destroys the entire nation. The documents also revealed for the first time the private email account that top Clinton aide Cheryl Mills apparently used to conduct government business, cherylmills@gmail.com. Really? The documents also show that the State Department had concerns months ago about classified information in Clinton's emails. A letter on March 3rd, 2015 to longtime Clinton attorney David Kendall said, quote, please note that if Secretary Clinton wishes to release any document or portion thereof, the department must approve such release and first review the document for information that may be protected from disclosure for privilege, privacy, or other reasons. End quote. Just last week, Justice Department lawyers told a federal judge that they had no reason to suspect Clinton had failed to produce any emails requested by Congress or watchdog groups. Monday's revelation of the 5-month gaps in emails turned over to Clinton would appear to cast doubt on the Justice Department's assurance. The State Department appraisal report that said Clinton should have turned over all emails, including the 30,000 she deleted, because they were deemed personal, also seemed to contradict the Justice Department. This is the Justice Department under Obama, just so you're not confused as to who is saying this for Clinton. Top Justice Department lawyers Benjamin Miser and Elizabeth Shapiro said in papers filed in federal court Wednesday, quote, because personal records are not subject to the Freedom of Information Act, and State Department employees may delete messages they deem in their own discretion to be personal. Plaintiff's preservation argument reduces to an unsupported allegation that former Secretary Clinton might have mistakenly or unintentionally deleted responsive agency records rather than personal records. End quote. Of course they're going to say this. Judicial Watch described the Monday event as a symposium that will examine how the Obama administration's corruption and abuse of power have undermined the rule of law and the U.S. Constitution. The group contended the nation is in the midst of an unprecedented assault on its open records laws by the corrupt and secretive Obama administration and corrupt politicians like Hillary Clinton, an assault that we believe poses a serious threat to our country's future. End quote. The event was divided into 3 sessions with closing remarks and a question and answer period. The first session was Clinton Corruption Challenge from Benghazi to Clinton Clash. Panelists Tom Fitton, Judicial Watch President, John Fund, columnist for National Review Online and senior editor of the American Spectator. That's one of the periodicals that I refer to sometimes and get my research from sometimes. Joe DiGenova and Tonsing. Steve Bannon, executive chairman of Breitbart News, which I have ceased from reading since they put out a lot of racist stuff and all of their readers are going along right along with the racism, so I don't need to read their stuff. David Martosco, U.S. political editor of dailymail.com. I also read them and refer to them sometimes. During the first panel, Fund called it ironic that Clinton began her career as a staffer on a House committee investigating the 18-minute gap in the Nixon tapes. Did you all know this? She was a staffer during the Nixon fiasco. Fund recalled how her supervisor, a Democrat, had said it would only be a matter of time before the Nixonian traits she had learned would come back to haunt her. The columnist also predicted that investigators would get to the bottom of the email scandal because he quipped, quote, "I happen to know that President Jarrett is not amused by the scandal," a reference to Obama's top advisor, Valerie Jarrett. I already did a thing saying that Valerie Jarrett is mad at Clinton and will get back at her. I don't know how. Everything she does is behind the curtain in the dark. DiGenova claimed Clinton wanted a private email server only to deny access to everyone who had a legal right to see her emails. Quote, "If not for Judicial Watch, we would not be sitting here today," he said. DiGenova said Clinton knew all her electronic devices were not encrypted, so the suggestion she did not know that she would receive classified information was ludicrous, and she knew it. If she turned over everything, she'd be dead meat. He added, quote, "I know who has all of the emails, the NSA. DiGenova said every one of the emails would have been captured by the spy agency as part of a counterintelligence program. That's just logical. Of course, they're going to have all of the emails and they're going to be sniffing to see if anybody else is looking at the emails. That's logical. Quote, "One phone call from the Attorney General to the head of the NSA would have produced them all," he said. Fenton said he guaranteed all of Clinton's emails were in the possession of her attorney, Kendall. The second session was illegal immigration crisis, national security, job security, election integrity, and public safety. The final session, the IRS attack on free speech. So they are saying right out in the open exactly what I've been saying. So here's the question. Do you think the Republicans are going to actually do something to Clinton? Do you think Valerie Jarrett is going to do something to her? Or do you think it's going to take Judicial Watch to slam dunk this and actually do what needs to be done? Thank you for watching the Shikama Live Show.